7th graders, so over the next 5 weeks, which are the next technically 4 STEAM Wednesdays, you guys will be working piece by piece on this elk in Yellowstone case study. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go through you guys' calendar and show you guys this really quick, and then I'll get into the first part you will be doing today, which is the introduction. All right, so today is February 10th, so you guys notice you'll be doing elk case study, the intro, and part 1. Next week, we only have a 4-day weekend, so we have no STEAM Wednesday that week. So no school Monday, Tuesday, Thursday is A cohort in school, and Thursday, Friday is B cohort in school. So the next STEAM Wednesday we have where you guys are remote, you guys will be working on parts 2 and 3. That's the 24th of February. March 3rd, you guys will do parts 4 and 5. And then finally on March 10th, you guys will finish it up with part 6. So until you guys have finished it up, you guys won't turn this in. It's not due until Thursday, March 5th. Okay? All right, so coming back to it, I'm going to have separate videos for this. So you'll see a video on each part to watch to explain each section. So we're going to go ahead and get into the introduction. Okay, so this is your introduction. Over the course of this whole case study, all 6 parts in the introduction, these are going to be your guys' learning targets. So I can explain why elk in the Madison River Valley have a shortened lifespan compared to elk in the Lamar Valley. So basically, you guys are going to be studying 2 populations of elk, one of which dies fairly young and the other which lives a lot longer. Okay, so you guys are going to do some research and learn a little bit of information as I give you each part as to why this happens. So you guys are going to play the scientist and kind of figure out and make guesses each part as to why this herd of elk in the Madison River Valley don't live as long as the herd of elk in the Lamar Valley. Okay, I can give cause as to the reduction of the Madison River Valley herd size. So also with this, our herd size in the Madison River not only has a shortened lifespan, but they have a much smaller population size. So we're going to figure out why that is. Okay, so as you guys have maybe seen a map of this before, this is kind of small and hard to see. Your Lamar Valley is up in here, and your Madison River Valley is over here. Okay, so that's just a map, and eventually you guys will see pictures of what those actual areas look like as well. Okay, you guys will see this slide throughout all 6 parts of this unit. So it says on the next slide, you're going to read and highlight. There's a color key for you guys to highlight. Obviously, when you guys are highlighting, you're not highlighting full sentences, okay? Think about it this way. If you guys were to memorize what you highlight, are you going to memorize every word in every sentence, or are you just going to memorize important details? Okay, so think about that as you guys read each of these sections and do your highlighting. So in yellow, you guys will highlight specific information about the Lamar Valley. Okay, that was that northern region up here of Yellowstone. And then info about the Madison River Valley will be highlighted in this pinkish purple color. And then finally, any general information that you guys have that doesn't necessarily apply to the Lamar Valley or the Madison River Valley, but you think it's important, will be this aqua blue color. So I'm going to kind of model what that looks like in the introduction for you guys, so you'll have this part already done for you. So I'm going to go to my draw tool. I'm going to choose my highlighter, and then you guys can notice there's this little key to just kind of remind you in the bottom right-hand corner. So Rocky Mountain elk, Cervus elaphus, living in Yellowstone National Park, belong to the most abundant large mammal population in the park. Their habitats include high elevation grasslands and lodgepole pine forests. I think if we're talking about elk, that's definitely a really important part right there. So habitat includes high elevation grasslands and lodgepole pine forest. Okay, Rocky Mountain elk have the choice of living in one of 2 areas in Yellowstone, the Lamar Valley in the northeastern region. So Lamar Valley is going to be yellow. So we know Lamar Valley is in the northeastern region. And in purple, our Madison River Valley, which lies between West Yellowstone and Madison Junction, Wyoming, in the northwestern portion of Yellowstone. So really, those 2 towns aren't super important, but we need to know that it's still the northwestern portion. Okay? The elk herd population in the Lamar Valley is about 8,000 to 12,000, so that's going to be an important little number there. And the average lifespan of the elk in this area is 16 years. with some elk living 20 to 25 years. So in general, they die about 16 years, but that doesn't mean that they don't live to be 20 to 25. So they have a really high lifespan there. Versus our Madison River Valley, however, the average lifespan of elk is only 10 years as opposed to 16, and no adult elk live beyond 16 years. So that's really important. This is this change in lifespan, or this difference in lifespan, that I kind of talked to you guys about in the learning targets for this whole case study. The herd size in this area is only about 5 to 800, which is significantly smaller than the Lamar's 8,000 to 12,000. So you can see there's two really big differences between the Lamar herd and the Madison River herd. Okay, you got this gigantic elk population size versus a very small size for the Madison River. Okay, and then this lifespan, 16 to basically 25 years versus 10 years, with none really living past the average for the other group. Okay, remember that anytime you guys use the draw tool, you need to click back on your cursor. Okay, so for every part, you guys will be given a paragraph or so. Sometimes it might be more than one, sometimes it might just be one. You need to do this same highlighting, but again, notice how much I highlighted in this little excerpt. Okay, if I needed to, I could memorize these facts, but if I were to highlight more than this, really, I'm not going to be able to memorize that. And not saying you guys need to memorize it, but I kind of like to tell you guys that as a good guideline as to how much you should be highlighting in each of these sections. I've got just the important details that I need. All right, so that concludes the introduction. You guys kind of really already have it done for you. It was just a matter of watching this video, reading, and highlighting. Okay, make sure yours is highlighted as well, but I'll probably just leave these on there for you guys. And then you guys may go ahead and advance on to part 1, which is also assigned today.